So Liz Truss did it. Liz Truss did it. Liz Truss has topped Penny. She topped Penny Mordaunt. Penny Mordaunt is not going to go anywhere. Penny Mordaunt's done. The penny ain't worth a nickel these days. Beowolf ain't no Gilgamesh. Liz Truss tops Penny Mordaunt, which means that the librarian beat Kate Winslet. That means the British people would rather have a librarian as their prime minister instead of just some pretty face. The British people are for the intelligent, smart librarian over the voluptuously vapid. Rishi Sunak still holds on to his number one spot. Liz Truss tops Penny. Rishi Sunak still holds on to his number one spot. So, goodbye, Kenny. Goodbye, Kimmy. Goodbye, Penny. Goodbye, Tom. Goodbye, everybody. I gotta go. I gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, I didn't mean to make you cry. Ooh. Hasta la vista, baby. That Boris Johnson. Hate to see you leave, but I'd love to see you walk away, Penny. Murdoch was good actually on gay rights and transgendered issues. However, Rishi is not, nor Liz Truss. So that's actually the one big unfortunate. Now, Penny Murdoch says sport like an asshole, like university. Do you go to university? Do you go to university and play sport? Your cell phone is losing signal? The cell phone losing signal at the university while I'm playing sport. You shouldn't be talking on a cell phone while you're playing sport. I bet that professor says university, huh? Like an asshole. Do you go to university? What do you got against modifiers, you modifying hating motherfuckers? What did a modifier ever do to you? Go to university? Do you go to the university? And which university? Be precise. Go to university? I'm going to university. Where? In London, motherfucker? This is America. Oh, wait, this is London. Okay, so Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, Professor Tim Wilson.
Liz Truss has now been voted for the Conservative Party leadership over Penny Mordaunt. The race will be between Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss. Rishi Sunak has got 137 votes, so well over the 120. Penny Mordaunt, 105. Liz Truss well below the 120 at 113. I could not be more horrified that this politician who doesn't know enough geography, who tried playing chicken with Lavrov, who has endangered us, who recommended that people go to fight in Ukraine, and then has done absolutely nothing when they're accused of being mercenaries and threatened with death. I cannot be more shocked and ashamed of our systems than I am today.
Oh no, not Professor Tim Wilson. Tim Wilson is like, this Tory system where 160,000 Tories vote on the future of the prime ministership, it's almost like it's not a real democracy at all. Only 160,000 Tories. Professor Tim Wilson, are you a Tory? Are you a Tory? Let's break down Tim Wilson's argument one by one. It was Penny Mordaunt, so, you know, I messed up, but it doesn't matter. She didn't get elected, so it doesn't matter anyways, does it? Also, Dostoevsky is against socialism, so I messed that up. He's not a socialist, he's anti-socialist because he got beat up, you know, for being a socialist. And then he went to jail, and then he never was a socialist again for the rest of his life. He became a Russian nationalist, which is exactly why you would beat somebody up and throw him in jail. Nah, you're not going to love the people. You're going to love our culture, whether you love it or not. Whether it's a good culture or not, you're going to love our culture, whether it's a good culture or not. Socialism, love the working class. How dare you? How dare you love the working class? He says he's never been more ashamed of your system. Never been more ashamed of the British system, huh? The English system. The English system, which killed all those Irish people. The British system, which was empire in India and all the fucking genocide and slavery. He's never been more ashamed of his system than now. Why? Because Liz Truss was... You still got Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak is still in it. I don't understand. He's acting like all is nigh. It's all for nothing. The whole fucking thing is come crumbling down. There's no reason to even go on living, really. I mean, it seemed very sad. He was very Never been more ashamed, and he's horrified. He's horrified because Liz Truss doesn't know enough geography, like what, Aleppo, and try to play chicken with Lavrov. And he said that she's endangered us, recommended to folks to fight in Ukraine, has done nothing when they're accused of being mercenaries and they're threatened with death. And then he says he's shocked and ashamed of our system. Well, Professor, that nutty professor, it's not over until the cockneyed lady sings. It's not over until the cockneyed accent lady sings. Right? Shocked and ashamed. What a total twat waffle. The professor is a total douche canoe. He gets peace and security and safety because of the brave like Liz Truss. What he's trying to say, there's two criticisms. He's saying she doesn't know geography, which, okay, how great is your fucking geography skills? I'm sure there's something behind that specifically. But she knows geography enough. What the fuck are you talking about? Try to play chicken with Lavrov. So that's the defense secretary for Russia. He is criticizing her position on Ukraine. The nutty professor is saying that it's okay for Putin to murder and pillage and rape as many Ukrainian people as just kill, rape, steal, just take their lives, take their resources, take their land. The professor doesn't give a shit. The nutty professor does not give a shit how many Ukrainians are going to get killed and murdered and this and that. He was talking about getting pilloried. Oh, they're going to get pilloried, which is a great word. But being insulted is way different than, somebody bombing the shit out of you, pillaring you with words versus pillaring you with bombs and bullets and tanks. And I'm excited. Liz Truss, I think the reason why I'm happy is the same reason he's pissed off. He's pissed off because he's a fucking professor, right? Fucking professor. He's better than everybody. Professor, he likes making these YouTube videos with a comfortable sweater, looking all professional and sophisticated, just overly sophisticated, but just like casually. Okay, great. You're doing good with your social media. You're doing good. You're making some money, huh? He's sitting on the sofa, sitting on the floor, sitting on the ceiling. He wants to keep on making those videos, right? Well, you need the brave people like Liz Truss. She says she's willing to confront Putin right to his face. That's amazing. She's saying she's going to have a sit-down with Putin. I've never heard anybody say they were going to have a sit-down with Putin except for what? The Turkey guy? Just Erdogan? And I don't like her position on, I don't know what gay married, but the transgendered. She had voiced some opposition to Penny Mordaunt's. She had said something about self-ID, something about she was for self-ID or wasn't for, I forget exactly what it was. But, yeah, Liz Truss isn't totally great, but, she's for cutting taxes. I like her position on the Ukraine. And either I'm in love with a cockneyed accented British woman, or maybe I just love Aubrey Hepburn. It's one or the other. Or me and the Tories are in complete alignment with one another. Liz Truss, like she says, she is not a legacy candidate. She's not pish-posh. That's why the professor hates her. That's why I like her. That's why I like her, and probably lots of working class, chimney sweepers. Hello, Liz Truss. I sure do like you. Hello, Liz Truss. Hello. I, only liked her, but after the professor got all fucking his panties in a bunch like that, I hope she gets better on trans issues. But Jesus Christ, I think I might love her now. Jesus Christ, professor, what are you? You mad, bro? Hey, professor. Hey, nutty professor, you mad, bro? Between all the candidates, Liz and Rishi were the most intellectually coherent. So I don't know what the fuck his problem was. Liz Truss did a great job. You don't want a flashy candidate, right? You didn't want the most entertaining, the most... Rishi Sunak basically had this thing in the bag the whole time. Was his, candidate Penny Mordaunt? Is that what he's all mad about? I sure love that voluptuous... Yeah, okay. We all love big butts. And we cannot lie. You other brothers, you can deny. But if you want a true blue pish-posh Englishman, vote Rishi Sunak. But if you want a true blue working class Englishman, vote Liz Truss. If you want an aristocratic Englishman, vote Rishi Sunak. If you want a working class Englishman vote Liz Truss. Who is this Keir Starmer? Is that Labour's guy? It's not certain when general elections will be called up, if they'll be called up at all. They're snap elections, right? At will, I guess, at the mercy of the Queen. Whenever she gets a fucking fart, whenever she gets a mean old fart, she's like, just rips a mean old fart and is like, you know what? Now's the time for general elections. That was a good... there's 3 things I want for England. Number 1, legalize marijuana, England. Number 2, write a constitution, England. And number 3, get rid of the Queen, get rid of the monarchy. Liz Truss once said that she wanted to get rid of the monarchy. Liz Truss once introduced the idea of abolishing the monarchy. So you're going to have a better chance of getting rid of the Queen with Liz Truss more so than with Rishi Sunak. But you probably never get rid of the Queen. You can get yourself a constitution with the 100 Bill of Rights, and you can legalize marijuana and help your poor and, this and that. But those are the biggest ones. Liz Truss says that experts had said that Rishi Sunak's tax plan is going to send England's economy spiraling into a recession. Liz Truss said that Rishi Sunak is going to raise taxes more on England than has been raised on England in 70 years. There's no way in hell that Rishi Sunak is going to stop loving the Queen. Rishi Sunak loves the Queen more than he loves his own mother. He loves the Queen more than he loves himself. He loved the Queen when he was in the womb. It's not Elizabeth II. He doesn't like her as a person, but as the office. Rishi Sunak loves the throne and the crown, and he aspires to be the person that gives advice to the throne and the crown. Gives advice to them. Liz Truss once introduced the idea of abolishing the monarchy. England also doesn't have any constitution. Goddamn, England is flaccid when it comes to a constitution or a Bill of Rights or initiative, referendum, recall. Their democracy is pretty much shit. It's pretty much dog shit. England's got a dog shit democracy. 160,000 people's going to vote for the prime minister in a country of 67 million. That's not even close to being a democracy. That's so oligarchical, it's not even funny. England's run by a royalist monarch, so you're electing a prime minister, but ultimately the power is in the Queen's hands, right? England's democracy is shit. But you know what? I'll have to take a step back, because even though England's democracy is shit, it's better than America's. It's better than America's bullshit debates. It's like England is actually having a conversation. Not just for England's country, but for the entire world. And this shit's intense. It was very Darwinian. So bravo, England. Your democracy might be shit, but it appears, at least for the moment, that is better than our shit democracy here in America. So here's the England. The tip of the cat. The tip of the cap for, you're not great. You're not even really good. But England, your democracy is a tick above America's. Both Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss are for deporting Rwandans. That's a terrible policy. And Liz Truss is actually for deporting Rwandans and then some. She said she worked very closely with Priti Patel on it, and we need to have further reforms in the United Kingdom to make sure that we can really stop illegal immigration. She wants to go above and beyond. Liz Truss is for sitting down with Putin. Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, he's going to raise corporate taxes to 25%. He's going to keep defense spending at 2.5%. He's going to raise the payroll tax. Liz Truss once introduced the idea of abolishing the monarchy. Liz Truss, you got to trust in Truss. Liz Truss, Miss Eliza Doolittle, the poor cockney. Remember when you was a poor cockney? A little cockneyed, crooked mouth English. A little English girl in the streets of London, in the alleyways of London. Remember when you was a poor cockney girl in the streets of London and you was like, I'm going to be prime minister one day, and nobody believed you? That poor cockney girl, Eliza Doolittle's, may be prime minister in a month. She might be prime minister in a month. She said she was loyal to Boris Johnson. Great answer. She's not a legacy candidate. She's not a cliquey person. She's all about meritocracy. She's talking about walking the walk, not just talking the talk. She wants to restore the trust. She's right on Ukraine. I don't know why the professor hates her so much, because he's a stuck-up, pompous pig. Probably, right? No poor cockney will ever be prime minister of my great Britannica. Here's another thing. Liz Truss isn't the greatest looker out there. She's okay. I mean, I like her. She's not, I don't hate looking at her. She's worn me down, though. And you know what? I like her personality. I think she's actually quite adorable. There's some appeal there. Margaret Thatcher, not adorable. Margaret Thatcher, pretty much quite repulsive. Theresa May, my God, that's quite hideous if you ask me. Liz Truss wants free business zones. She's talking about low regulation, low taxes, like farmers markets, red light districts, yard sales. She's all about the free market, letting the free market do its thing. Liz Truss is the current foreign secretary. She might be bad on trans and gay rights. She said something about self-ID. I think Rishi Sunak is bad on trans and gay rights too. Liz Truss talks real slow and boring, so slow and steady wins the race, right? Policies of Liz Truss's are lower taxes, reverse the NIC's hike and cut taxes from day one, reform the Euro Court. She wants to get out of the Euro Court. Either reform the damn thing or get out of it. Liz Truss wants to publicly recognize the genocide in China. I think the Uyghurs. She wants to reduce the size of the state in comparison to the private sector. So she wants to shrink the state, shrink the social spending, right? Sell all the assets and essentially just have a court system. Just have a cops and a court system and just kind of get rid of everything else. Milton Friedman economics, low tax zones. She wants everybody to start their own businesses. She wants everybody to have the same opportunity regardless of their background or where they live. She wants bold supply side reform. She wants to tackle the cost of energy. Liz Truss wants to create low tax, low regulation zones, new hubs for enterprise. She wants to revitalize local areas. She's pro-family. She's smart and intelligent. She's got a British accent and some other accent, that cockneyed accent. She's going to defend England and Ukraine. She will oppose Putin. She's not going to give in to the naysayers. As trade secretary, she made trade deals with Japan and Australia. She did something with the Belfast Agreement. I like listening to her. I like her street English. I like her Elijah Doolittleness. Did she used to sweep chimneys? It wouldn't shock me. Liz Truss says no to raising taxes. Now, Rishi Sunak, I think it's smart that he's saying that he's going to raise taxes because traditionally conservatives don't raise taxes. He doesn't want to raise taxes. He's not in love with raising taxes. It's just a political necessity. And frankly, you need a politician who's going to raise or lower taxes accordingly. The social services in England are on the brink of breaking down. You want to keep your healthcare system, England? There's stagnation there. There's high inflation, rising cost. You may have to raise the payroll tax and you may have to raise the corporate tax. The corporate tax is going to be raised to 25%. In America, what's the corporate tax? Like 33%? So it's not terrible what Rishi Sunak is saying about the economy. If anything, he's actually, injecting common sense into the conversation. We need more money and you're talking about cutting taxes? Are you crazy? England doesn't have a constitution. England doesn't have a Bill of Rights. England doesn't have any kind of social contract with the British people. There's no contractual promises of individual freedoms for the English people. No promises of three branches of government. You had the English Petition of Right. You had the English Bill of Rights. You had the English Magna Carta. My God, England had started this Constitution shit. They started a lot of this Constitution and Bill of Rights shit. So England, isn't it about time you get yourselves a fucking Magna Carta? It's 1215, circa 1215 AD. Anno Dominion, isn't it about time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? 160,000 Tories decides the fate of 67 million English people, but world politics has changed as well. 160,000 Tories. Rishi Sunak, his wife, is making money right now providing internet and computer services in Russia. So while Liz Truss is talking about defending Ukraine and standing up to Russia, Rishi Sunak's wife is making money by providing services to the Russian people, computer and internet services. No telling how much information Rishi Sunak's wife has on the Russian people. Rishi Sunak had voted for the mass surveillance of the English people, though. So will they get the information about the Russians, or will the Russians get the information about the English? What's going on there? They are fucking filthy fucking rich. I think he may be a homophobe. He's never actually voted on it, so we don't really know where he stands on any of these issues. But we know that he's voted for mass surveillance of people's communications and activities. He's consistently voted for stronger enforcement of immigration rules. On nearly all occasions, voted for a stricter asylum system. Rishi Sunak also backed the Leave campaign in the 2016 Brexit referendum, saying it would make Britain freer, fairer, and more prosperous. Key policies of Rishi Sunak is cut taxes when the inflation is down and the public finances are repaired. Keep the Rwanda immigration policy to cut the small boats crossing seems racist. Keep defense spending at current levels. Tom wants to raise the 2.5% up to 3% war spending, but not Rishi Sunak. He wants to keep it at 2.5%. Rishi wants to open the door to scrapping the BBC license fee in the future. Rishi says we can't spend more than what we take in taxes, so he's for raising the corporate tax. Liz Truss says she won't raise taxes, nor will she cut services. Sri Lanka did the same thing. The government's collapsed. They're on the verge of revolution. Where is Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss on marijuana? I don't know. The rain in Spain lies mainly in the plain. You bloomin' fucking wankers. Chim chim chimney chiroo. You Anglo-Saxons. You Beowolf. That was a terrible poem. That ain't no epic. You think Beowulf is an epic? Beowulf ain't no Gilgamesh. Beowulf ain't no Gilgamesh. Rishi Sunak has consistently voted for reducing central government funding of local government, so that should be expected. Turns out Liz Truss loves that British cheese, so British cheese is going to get you to the top. Watch out, Wisconsin. The next president in America is going to come out of Wisconsin. And British cheese one day will top Wisconsin cheese. If anything, watch out, Wisconsin. British cheese is coming for you. Why? Because of Liz Truss. She made a speech where she said, at the moment we import 2/3 of our apples, we import 9/10 of all of our pears, and we import 2/3 of our cheese. And that is a disgrace. And there was like a weird silence, and then people made fun of her because that's what fucking people do. But her point was a good point. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. So Rishi Sunak, he comes from a super rich Indian family, communication company, info system. His wife has shares in a Russian company. She owns 1% in the company. Her father was a person who founded the company in 1981. So her father had founded the company. They're giving computer and internet services over to Russia. She's worth millions, if not billions of dollars. Jesus fucking Christ. And now they want, the top advisory position to the Queen position. Is that what they're saying? Now, on Rishi Sunak's behalf, Rishi Sunak, he's denied any connection with Infosystem himself. Even though his wife owns some shares, they say that his wife doesn't run the day-to-day, operational decisions. So, therefore, he's not a hypocrite. Rishi Sunak says that, they should pull out of Russia. His wife's company didn't pull out of Russia. But that's not hypocrisy because squirrel! Is that a squirrel over there? The rain in Spain lies mainly in the plain. Chim